Hi, my name is Wasi Raza. Today we will be talking about Chapter 3, Structured Query Language. Let's start by describing what is a database. So a database is a collection of data, tables, and queries. A good example would be a classroom, where a classroom would be a table, students would be a data entry, and queries would be selecting a certain type of student, the same way a store would work. Store would be a table, product would be data entries, and selecting a certain product would be a query. So how a database relates to information system. Information system is basically people and computer system that handle storing and processing information and turning it into data. Hence, to handle large data, especially in large quantities, is where a database comes. Let's now discuss what is the role of a database administrator in a relational database management system, or RDBMS. The main role of an administrator is deleting, creating, manipulating, and displaying queries and databases. Now let's actually talk about our chapter 3, Structured Query Language. So a structured query language, or SQL, is a certain type of language specifically developed to handle, uh, specifically designed to handle database processing. In this chapter, we will be discussing the syntax of that language and how to use it practically. Now, SQL has a certain type of statements. The following are the statements we will be discussing in this chapter: data definition language, data manipulation language, SQL persistent stored modules, transaction control language, and data control language. So let's start with the create language. Create statement, terribly sorry. So the create statement is pretty easy to understand, as most SQL statements are. Create what you're trying to create. In this instance, we're trying to create a database. And name of database, in this instance, it would be new database. And that's pretty much it. You just created a new database. Now we use the use statement to use that database. We can also use the create statement to create a table. This syntax is mainly to learn how to create a table. So new table name would be the name of the table. Name 1 would be the first column. Int 5 would be 5 characters, which are integers, and not null is what that column would accept. So the next major thing we're going to talk about is primary keys. Yes, primary keys. Primary keys are a certain type of key that are unique to that table and are used to connect other tables in a database. And the following is a syntax of how you create a primary key. Constraint is a constraint. The table name underscore primary key is a variable. What we're trying to make here we're trying to make a primary key, and the column in set primary key. The same works for a foreign key. However, foreign keys are a bit more finicky because they are referencing a primary key in the first table. So the first half of the syntax is practically this similar. However, we have to reference table one, table one in order to have a foreign key. On update cascade is a special type of special type of keyword we use to tell the database to update all entries if one entry is updated. So here we're using insert into table 1. So the insert statement is pretty easy to understand. Insert into is our keyword. Table 1 is what table we're trying to insert, and then we're trying to insert values into all columns. So we could just write column 1, 2, 3, 4. But if we were trying to only enter values into column 3 and 4, we would type here with brackets column 3, 4, and type in the only column 3, 4 values. Now there is a part 2 to this assignment, in which we will be discussing selecting data and continuation of this assignment.